Team 12.
Well, let's go to the map pool because we want to get into the next draft. But there were so many plays from Tempo Storm that I wanted to highlight from that series too. Especially, you saw the long-range Dragon's Arrow, and it didn't quite work out with the Ragnaros there too. But once Ragnaros spotted out Goku, sending out that Dragon's Arrow, if that hit, and then Hanzo is there post 20 with play of the game, you got Sulfury Smash 2. The range of having that with the Molten Core that we saw Glower in the mid and then still being able to get the Sulfury Smash follow-up too made things really hard for Goku. We wondered how it would go for Goku. There was a lot of vision available, though Goku did a fantastic job, even going in and getting a kill underneath Molten Core. But I thought it was really awesome to see all of the different Molten Core plays from Glaurung. It seemed like that was a comp in a pairing that was very practiced for Tempo.
Yeah, I was saying, oh, you know, they can defend against their protector here. They've got Molten Core. They can stall out the game. It's like,
defend?
What if we just actually use it as offense? You know, like, so it was definitely a really good take on that. Gilly, both teams have won on their map choice, and this map choice is on Team 12 side, and they are the ones that pick Towers of Doom. So we'll see if that trend continues to win on your battleground of choice.
Yeah, Tempo Storm banned Tomb in this series, which makes sense. It is a classic for Team 12, but they banned Towers of Doom versus Heroes Hearth. So like the Volskaya and picking that versus Team 12 when Team 12 banned it last week, Team 12 are flipping the table. They're turning it on Tempo Storm. We'll see how Tempo does on it.
Always going to be a point of contention will be the Shimada brothers in our current meta. Are you willing to ban one and hope you get the other, or are you going to try and just keep it simple and go as I say, take ETC off? Ever since game 1, just seems like everybody's like, let's take ETC off and go. Well, I don't know. They're
I would say Tempo really wants ETC.
Cattle for the cattle.
They switch it to Genji. That one seems strange though. But if they know that they want ETC, they still don't want to deal with Genji, we'll just ban the Genji. Does this leave now Team 12? Do they have to ban ETC?
Yeah.
But then Hanzo.
Yeah, I was going to say, Team 12, are they willing to commit to the Hanzo? It feels like not picking up Hanzo early. There were very few drafts last week where Hanzo kind of made it past the second ban phase or even past the second pick phase. And so it feels like, are you willing to commit yourself to a Hanzo pick? Because if you give up, yeah, I mean, this falls into the same realm of territory. We could be looking at the ETC Lucio combo, which we've got some stuff to talk about there.
If we ever get it.
If we ever get it.
But Team 12 hasn't played Hanzo yet. Yet. Are they willing to play it here? They ban Abathur. Now Hanzo and ETC both up. Lucio too, but we haven't been breaking it down all series.
ETC seems, in the way that we've seen North American meta evolve, ETC seems way too likely for them to pass up. I mean, I'm watching Europe this morning, and it's just like, ETC who? And then we come to North America, and it's all ETC all the time, and he's still going to be one of the most dominant warriors that we have in the game, just the playmaking potential alone.
81% win rate last weekend, second highest picked hero, but they'll let it through.
13 out of 16 games, Gilly. It's not like it's just like a small handful. We're talking 16 games he was played and won 13 of it. That is an impressive number.
Let the games begin.
Well.
Screaming Medivh. Let the games begin. Now Tempo Storm has to be thinking, and thankfully, they have Glaurung on their team. What's the setup with Medivh? Is it the Diablo and Towers of Doom? What else is possible?
Stitches.
That it is. The old Stitches portal, the Kidnapper strat.
A lot of games last year for Justin on Stitches. Nubarak, Stitches, Arthas were kind of his top played, with ETC, Diablo, Johanna being a little bit more situational behind that. A lot of it was because some of those heroes would be banned against them or banned their composition-wise, so kind of limited the Diablo-style pick that they like to go. But
ETC is really nice for trying to push people away from getting to the portals.
Does incredibly well. You get the level 4 talent for the increased knockback, and it helps. And we have another Tassadar game.
Okay. Some concerns for Team 12. Don't know who Glaurung's hero is yet.
Greymane's lost the last 2 games.
He's at, what was he at? 26%.
In game 1.
Coming to this.
Did Greymane make it through in game 1?
Yes. No, he was banned.
Yeah,
Mid-banned.
okay, he was banned. So he's lost the last 2. We're going to see if we can try and turn things around. I mean, it just, you know, his best pairing so far has actually been with Uther between Europe and North America.
Of course.
In week 1, they had a 5-1 win rate. Outside of that, it's been pretty terrible. So obviously that helps. We'll see if Medivh can kind of fit a similar role and kind of complement that Greymane dive style.
And Uther himself is still up too. Just kidding. Team 12 will ban it.
Does that mean we might get a more flashy Zeratul plays?
Oh, it was Diablo. Garrosh portals can put him in a better position to get a Wrecking Ball. For taunt too.
Yeah, multiple reasons.
Man, I don't know. Which of those is a scarier combo?
I mean, we look.
Yeah, Garrosh is rough with the siege, trying to siege into him, taking the kill zone.
We talked about Stitches. It's very unappealing. So, the natural agility for Hanzo, depending on the position, can get out. Dimensional Shift, Burrow Charge. Those are 3 heroes that make it really difficult to lock down. Uther does give you that protection if you do get pulled in, by giving you that armor if you can't get out, including the Divine Shield if needed. So the Uther pick might be hinting at that. I wonder if they'll sit on their Warrior pick until the end to see maybe if they have the opportunities or whether they have something else in mind to kind of go with this style. I mean, they might just keep it super neutral with Justin. Got no ETC still.
What is that other damage dealer going to be between here and, oh, well, we've got Medivh. Never mind.
They'll fit the mage style.
So then what is Goku looking at?
I mean, Leo, obviously, going to always be considered. We haven't seen much of Sonya in North America yet.
Yeah, strange. All over in Korea.
Yeah.
Malfurion. Malfurion is a part of that Medivh, Diablo, or Garrosh, anything wombo combo centered.
The Stitches too. I mean, it's if you want to keep somebody from leaving your area, you just kind of root them in place.
And Dream is a fantastic follow-up for a good lane line. Dahaka for the global. For Goku, Goku going back to his Dahaka. Always a treat to see. Final 2 picks for Tempo Storm. We're looking at June. We're looking at Glaurung. What do you think about Stukov here?
Stukov I like a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of put that lurking arm down around the portals if somebody does want to engage. I mean, they can't really do anything once they come out of it except for move and or auto attack. So I think there's definitely a play for Stukov. We could also see, we haven't seen Alex Straza. I feel like it might be something more neutral. We haven't seen any Lucio. And I don't know how I feel with Lucio right now, but we get it, and we get the Zeratul again.
Glaurung back on Zeratul. And no surprise, Diablo.
Go with what you know. Well, we know what's coming here. So does Glaurung. So does Tempo Storm. So there's no surprise tactics here. Everything that we see draft-wise is exactly the play style that we saw from them last year. But does it have the same execution when you replace 2 people?
It was Freedom who ran Medivh Diablo last weekend. They ran it versus Gale Force. It still packs a punch if you get the setup with the Leyline Seal. It's not Glaurung who's going to be setting up. It'll be Dansky on his Medivh. But there are some things to counter the aggression on Tempo Storm's side. Now you've got a Nubarak who can try to disrupt the follow-up once the Leyline Seal goes up. Mainly, I would say more the Malfurion. Diablo just has to stomp his foot, and it's go time for the Apocalypse. But Sound Barrier too, yeah.
I see you over
That's
here
pretty much
flexing
it.
on him. You know, I'm sitting here thinking about new Zeratul versus a Medivh. Normally, Zeratul before he'd go all in burst style. You know, once we saw Wormhole a long time ago when Wormhole was a thing, we saw a different style. Now with Might of the Nerazim, it allows you to go in, use your Vorpal, come back in, and that hand of protection is only going to be there for a moment, and it allows Zeratul to go in, go out, and then collapse onto somebody. So the new Zeratul style against this, you used to be able to use Medivh to counter a lot of what Zeratul did because he was full burst, one shot, one kill. If that doesn't go through, you're in trouble. Now with the way Zeratul's played, it's a very different dynamic. And then post 13, Malfurion will be able to stay alive with Ice Block. But in terms of the play potential on the side of Zeratul, it is far scarier now than it was pre-rework. So that'll be something I think we might see Glaurung try and exploit.
Especially if Glau plays like he did on Dragonshire. Game 1 of the series, he looked really good as Zeratul, so let's see if he can do it again and maybe just win the series versus Team 12. We're heading into Towers of Doom for Game 4.
There's the man right there. See if he can repeat that. You know, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, you know, we talk about June, we talk about Cattle. Kelly, when we were looking at some stats coming into this weekend, June and Cattle both averaged 10.5 assists a game, which means that they're doing really well contributing. They're not necessarily topping the meters as a tank or support, but they're doing well to support their team, support their allies, and set up those kills. And it shows that their involvement rate to really capitalize on that is pretty effective.
Well, Jayhao, when you have Glaurung, Fan, and Psalm as your backline, as your front line with Glaurung 2, as your damage squad, you can do that. You can know that your job and you making plays is to enable your team, and that is the charge for them here. June, his sound barriers are going to be crucial in dealing with the Wombo. Has to watch out for that leyline seal.
There's a drag and an instant charge into the wall with some roots. Anubarak.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurt.
He's gonna struggle. There's just a ton of damage. There's the auto attack damage from the Greymane that he can accentuate later on, and there's the percent damage that Diablo gets post 13. He's gonna have a time, and especially with the heals being on the lower end, which is why we're seeing him pick up Regen Master. He's trying to make sure that he mitigates that as he can.
Yeah, and that's a big part. Anubarak has the built-in spell armor, inherently making his health pool a little bit lower than most other main tanks. By going Regen Master, when you complete that, which is easier now with the gameplay changes, you get a bonus 500 health, making him quite a bit tanky.
Portal allows for really fast rotations.
Now you see me, now you don't.
Yeah, Team 12 utilizing that. It's going back and forth between the lanes. Also using that, so if Tempo Storm wants to try to set up a gank or set up a trap for Team 12 as they rotate through, just make sure that it's less likely for that. You saw Cattle seeing if he could catch anybody on the other end of that portal. He does have, as we saw in last game, a lot of abilities to do that.
This is a highly effective pre-level 10 composition. You know, you don't really get the damage output from Medivh, but as you said, the portals can really help you set up a lot of things, get in and out, and be aggressive. And the fact that Zeratul is your solo laner and Tassadar's kind of flexing into that 4-man rotation, their kill potential is tremendously low with a Hanzo Tassadar. So this early aggression from Team 12, Gilly, I like a lot.
Yeah, it's a full level lead. It's sappers that have already taken out towers and started to do damage to the bottom fort. Even getting the second sappers and trying to be in a position so they can escort those. Justin and Dansky rounding out, taking out the minion wave in mid so they can start to maybe go down and help along with that. Tempo Storm's getting aggressive though to see if they can get a catch someone out, maybe get a pick somewhere from that if they have the knock-up plus the boop from June, but not getting that. More sappers are about to be escorted in.
There's not a lot keeping them at bay either. Getting that in, I mean, that is 6 onto that bottom keep. We've now entered our first altar phase, as that's going to be the triple altar phase, the 1st and 5th. So we'll keep an eye on the impact of that. But Kelly, we're looking at almost a full level lead already for Team 12.
Insanity, just so fast, rotating between mid and bot, doing that critical amount of structural damage. Top claimed by Goku. Zeratul just now getting in for Glaurung. He wanted to escort the wave, see if he could make Team 12 miss some experience in the top, so he'll get that top one. But with Team 12 doing phenomenally in these rotations, controlling so well this middle between bot and mid. They get 2 of the 3 altars.
I want to see Zeratul showing middle, the bottom left camp. Actually, there's the flip. The bottom left camp should be spawning in a moment. If Zeratul continues to go top, we might see Team 12 continue to go in and invade and force a lot of the action. Zeratul has gone to the top. We'll see. Team 12 seems like they have something in mind, and right now they're pushing in mid. They're taking every ounce of structure that they can to continue to build their lead.
Yeah, build that lead and experience setup so you might get a huge power play with structures if the game goes in your favor. Zeratul's starting to come down. At least it goes to the mids to make sure they don't miss out on the soak there. But Team 12, with the setup, the Diablo can push people off if they want. Goku even coming in with the brush stock will claim the 3rd sapper camp in this bottom lane, just continuing to have dominance in this early game.
The minute Zeratul shows top, and he showed a little bit mid, but it wasn't anything aggressive. And Team 12 always had that escape route with the portal, and it just seems like they're able to do whatever they want right now, and they are getting it handedly.
Yeah, I'm really concerned with the Team 12 lead that they have in experience and how much damage they have done to that bottom bell tower, that we're looking at a possible snowball situation. And it's a bit different on Towers of Doom, obviously, but if you get that many of the bell towers set up, and that's why it was so nice to see them pushing that mid earlier on too, just getting the towers down in front of that, then you can really set a team behind and just constantly playing defense only and responding to your rotation. And that is what Team 12 is attempting to set up.
That impale from Cattle is just like, look, I know you're coming. It's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and lay this down. So very well timed there, thwarting any attack that Team 12 has. Team 12, again, still about a 3/4 level lead. They're going in, and Nubarak, he's going to get targeted. That's going to open up the door for Buds to get a free channel.
Yeah, forced out the burrow charge. There was no fear anymore for Caterpillar to dive in deep and the team to follow. It allowed Team 12 to control the abilities, the setup that, and the immediate channel from Buds. Still about a level lead, though Tempo Storm are doing their best to climb back in this game, stay in it, but Team 12 going back up to the mid, just trying to make sure that they get those heroic abilities and can do something with them while Tempo gets their own.
Every time they have an opportunity, they push in, they take structures, they force out a rotation from Tempo, and they've just completely controlled the early part of this game. And so when we look at Tempo Storm, we know that Archon's going to have a lot of value post level 10. We also know that once that Psystorm gets completed, has much better clear to try and take control, keep control of these lanes. Zeratul, Might of the Nerazim. Post level 10 and beyond, I think are going to be big power spikes for Tempo Storm to get back into this game, as Glaurung's doing a little shake and bake here.
That was excellent from Glau, dodging the drag, putting in the damage. Body block 2, forcing out Essence. But 10 is here, and with it, Team 12 get heroic abilities and another camp.
This is Bell Tower.
Finish the assault for the bottom bell tower.
And the thing is, they've also opened up middle, so as things continue to unfold here for Team 12, they're getting control. And we also have bottom altars, both bottom altars. And your entry point for Tempo Storm is that choke that we see at the top left, and then of course coming from top mid. Those are very scary into leyline seals and APOC combinations, which hasn't been locked in yet.
Yeah.
But those are scary choke points to engage into.
All right, Archon pickup. It's just waiting on Diablo.
Oh!
And Lightning Breath is the choice.
I did not expect that at all, Gilly.
Wow, Fan did a number on Buds to start off this altar phase. Tempo Storm have had enough. They are going to go into the fight before they get further behind. Any altar channeled means less shots, but at least they're fighting back in this game as they're at 28 to the 36 of Team 12, only losing a single altar so far this game. This is the point for Tempo Storm to try to get into a fight. And Glaurung's found on Justing.
He's lurking. Using a little bit of jukes to get in and get out there. Justin looking for some type of engagement. He's trying to find anybody. Goku has managed to keep people at bay up top. He's got a drag, though. Cure going in, trying to finish the kill. Glaurung, he's going to be isolated on the left side. Gilly, we've got to fight.
Oh, Sound Barrier went down, but not in a way to save. It was just before the leyline seal dropped, and that leyline seal was so great from Dansky. As Team 12 charged in, went after Glaurung, it made sure that nobody else could come to his aid. Taking out 2, Pushing on forward is Team 12. They need this win if they want to go to Game 5 in the series.
They're making a big statement early. They're up 36-18, but this is Towers of Doom. One good team fight gets you back in the game, gets you a little bit of control. And again, putting that stranglehold on that bottom lane is the name of the game for a lot of pro players. Despite the gameplay changes, this is one that's fairly unaffected because you don't walk to the core. You do not walk up and kill the core. So a lot of the dynamics of this map have stayed relatively the same. They're going to continue to focus on the sapper camps, keep the pressure on. Tassadar, of course, will be better at clearing as this game goes on, and those aren't as big of a threat, but they still have to keep you honest in that lane.
Yeah, we saw Team Freedom struggle with this very scenario versus Scaleforce Esports last weekend. Once a team like Team 12, who can be very aggressive, takes over that bell tower, it's all about just keeping that aggression going, posturing so that you deny shots from your opponents. You give yourself extra shots when the next altar phases start. And as we can see, the next altar phase is going to be in the bottom. So it's controlling the rotations and how a Tempo Storm can even retreat from that altar should they find themselves in danger in the fight.
Dual Soak Dahaka, who can be in a team fight in one clever dig. And that's part of the strength of this composition is having Dahaka there. Zeratul has nowhere near as good of wave clear. They don't have kill potential. We saw Tassadar go to the top to try and get the kill onto Dahaka. It looks like they're committing more resources. Actually, they're just going to go for the boss. They're trying to get some semblance of control here. But, I mean, they are just in a terrible spot.
Deep sees this. They need to be careful for the Layla and Seal. Malfurion in the bottom, though. Never mind, Team 12 totally fine with those 4 shots because they get 5 shots from the altar in the bottom and they're already in control. Tempo Storm doing everything they can to figure out how to get back into this game. Sacrifice the bottom.
Yeah, the response here is mid. This is a perfect call. You're gonna give up that top, you're gonna get something in return. They force the rotation out of Tempo Storm, they save, they have the portal over. We didn't get to see a lot of that action, but that was a perfect call by Team 12. That is just keeping just so much control of this game.
Those roots were very annoying for Tempo Storm as they're attempting to get into position to stop these sappers. 1, 2, 3 shots all go through to the core of Tempo Storm. Now, one of those was taken out, but still did 2 more, 11 health. Tempo Storm is struggling in this game. They went top, they got top, but then rotating down, Team 12 showing up mid, Tempo Storm stopped in just for a brief second, and then 12 portaled over the wall so that they could escort the sappers in. Just utilizing these portals so well, not only in fights, but really just to manipulate the map.
That's pretty much all that they've done. And speaking of manipulating the map, the Sappers top have kept Dahaka there for a moment. They're looking to engage. Glaurung coming in on the backside as well. He's trying to get into the fight. They're looking for it, but Goku has entered, and this is what they do. They've got complete control. The tongue lands!
Oh, but so does the cocoon, keeping Psalm alive. Sound Barrier was also used from this. They're going to hit the knockup, hoping that they can get Goku, but the Force of Will is good. Goku survives, but so too does the rest of Tempo Storm.
Goku gonna casually make his way back up. This bottom bell tower continues to be held. Tempo, though, they're trying to use a little bit of sleight of hand almost as they've come from the backside there, but the portals easily get Team 12 out. But Dahaka, remember, that Brush Stalker is not available. Dansky, he's got another portal with that level 13 cooldown. But Goku with no Brush Stalker, he's like, that's cool, I'll hang it up here.
Yeah,
no big deal.
Team 12 were totally fine just to bait out that fight. They have Goku getting that. Hanzo's going to go in, attempting to stop Goku from getting the second one. Lightning Breath comes out, and Tempo Storm leaves.
This has potential to be game. If Dahaka's managed to get that top one, which I'm not sure will happen, but they get 2 out of 3, it's a tough spot. If they get the next 2 here, this is game.
Tempo's too low. They're way too low. They don't have sound barriers. Zeratul's fallen. Butch gets the channel in the bottom. It's just Psalm versus Goku as Tassadar heads up, hoping that Tempo Storm at least stalls out the rest of this game. This is problematic for Tempo Storm. This whole game has been problematic.
Are you ready for a game 5, Gilly?
Oh, I am so ready for a game 5, just as I would hope for a series between Tempo Storm and Team 12. Let's see if Tempo Storm can hold right now. They found a Buds.
Ice block is there. It's going to keep him alive. Twilight Dream in return. The sound barrier is June going in for the swoop and boot, getting the kill. Cure trying to get the counter kill onto June, but June does make it away. We have a 4 versus 4 in Tempo Storm. They said, wait a minute. We are not ready for a game 5 here.
We are not done yet. You cannot take us down as Greymane is the one taken down. Portal in the back as Justin runs in. June is just speeding everywhere away. He sees red and he just runs to a wall as fast as he can back to his team. Cattle channels this out. Tempo Storm is caught up in experience. We're looking at 3-28 though.
They need to get control of that bottom. That is exactly what they're doing. The bottom left bell tower, fairly low. You can get these, get control. This is the mystique of Towers of Doom, is just when you think, hey, you got a 5 versus 4, your name is Team 12, all you gotta do is channel 1 altar, it's game over. Tempo Storm turning the tables here. They've got a long road to go, but they are very much in this game.
We get the second camp. They're working on taking out the bell tower. Camp's gonna run in. They still have 2 shots in the bottom. Dahaka in the top, taking
Zeratul
back the bell tower.
Diablo almost died there. Like, Diablo almost died there.
Pretty low in health.
Zeratul, Glaurung trying to fight back, get his team back in this game.
They've got 16. Now's your time. And a level lead too. Keeping an eye on a portal. Leyline still is up. The whole wombo, kit and caboodle for Team 12 is up.
Got a pretty even game, and we look, Gilly, double altar phase will be up at the top. We saw that Lightning Breath was used to zone out a bit, use that force of will, keep him protected, and then try and zone out and get damage. All you need is 1 if you're Team 12 here.
Boss, double altars, all in the top. Tempo Storm starts the boss.
Force it.
Yeah, force that fight.
We've got Leyline, though. I mean,
Dahaka?
Leyline.
Great boop. Oh, man, great boop. The cocoon, everything starting as the battle goes down. Caterpillar in so much danger as the lightning breath burns down the bug. Cure jumping in on top of Fan now. Slow down in. Leyline comes out.
Glaurung trying to keep his team alive. The flip's going to go over, but the Twilight Dream will blow up Zeratul. We've got scattered arrows, though, in return. This is not over just yet. Justine taking the portal out. Bud's trying to zone out. The boss has been leashed. It is still a 4 versus 3, but the health on the side of Team 12. They're going to tap and look to re-engage. Tempo Storm cannot afford to give up this channel. Justine looking for an opportunity. He's going to get poked down for the moment. But look for a portal and Dansky to try and go in and see if they can force some action.
Fans starting to step back to see if he can channel, knowing that Team 12 did go back momentarily to stall out. That might just be the ticket. So I'm going back through. Goku's zoned. Everyone's zoned away from Goku to channel this. Nobody's stopping him. Hanzo goes down. Team 12 is taking us to Game 5, the first series of the weekend.
It's a dominant game there by Team 12 to send us to that 5th game. This is a back-and-forth series if there ever was one. We saw the schedule last week, Gilly, when we closed out the show. We open up this weekend with this series, and it is living up to the hype, to say the least.
That it is. Game 5, I would have it no other way between these two teams, not when so much is on the line. When you look back at who is in the #1 seed as we go to Western Clash, this will absolutely play into the advantage of the team who wins. It may not be that either of them is #1, but at least when we're looking at who is going to the Western Clash or who even is ahead of the other one, because you know these two teams are big contenders for ones who get to go.
Big contenders. I mean, Psalm's already talking about going to international events. Team 12 expects to be there. Both, basically everybody's watching is expecting these teams to go. So without a doubt, I think this right here, this series, as you said, big implications in North America and, of course, going into the potential clashes.
Yeah, and especially because other teams who have their eye on that #1 spot or even a Western Clash spot are looking at this, trying to figure out who is the team to beat then to get that spot. And that comes down to the team who loses this series, or if you want the #1 spot, you gotta beat both of them at some point. And I know Freedom's keeping their eye on this series too, as they have to face Tempo on Sunday. So there is a lot riding on this one. And it all comes down to one game. We're going to a commercial break. After the break, Game 5.